Thank you very much. This is the second visit in a very short time after the Antalya Diplomacy Forum, and it's also clearly showed that how the timing of this visit, because of just before the NATO summit in Ankara, it's obvious that Pakistan and the Turkey relations is tighten up more positive, increasing in the different level in the multidimensional speed. Of course, the defense sector and the political level in some hand, also on the other hand, two countries is successfully working together regarding the uh, actually the US-Iranian tension and the conflict easing these process. And also this visit clearly shows that for not the regional but also global politics, two countries it has a more brotherhood relations, but also gives a strategic cooperation in a brotherhood level, which is quite unique in the region and the international system.
How can Pakistan and Turkey further strengthen their, what they call it, strategic partnership beyond their traditional political and defense ties?
Well, actually, this strategic cooperation started almost 10 years ago, especially in the defense sector, but it's also created a positive domination effect in other sectoral relations, both in the business level and also diplomatic level, as well as the societal level, because we have already very strong historical relations. But the walking to the future together is something different, and two countries, especially in the leadership level, leader diplomacy also plays a significant role. Both Shehbaz Sharif and also President Erdogan has a clear commitment to increase this relations in all manner, and it also shows that two countries can be the key actor in the regional peace and also global peace.
In light of recent regional tensions, do you see Ankara and Islamabad coordinating closely on regional security and defense?
Of course, there is no doubt, and also there is a clear willingness from the both sides to show much more encouragement and the willingness for the upcoming days to ease the tension in the region, but also not in this specific case of the US-Iran crisis, but also in other possible crises and the conflicts. We can see that the possible cooperation of two countries at the diplomatic level and also related fields.
Turkey has always positioned itself as a global mediator in almost a lot of conflicts. How do you see Pakistan fitting into Turkey's vision?
Well, I think the two countries are working together successfully because two countries understand each of these countries, both the incentives, and also two countries clearly approach the regional and the other actors in a very positive manner to see that the mediating in a concrete results. And I think the last crisis also shows that how two countries working together and also how two countries working with the other also third countries to the mediating process as well. Of course, this is a long-term process. We need to see the latest results in this the last conflict, but it also shows that a very clear concrete case that the upcoming conflicts could be solved by the two countries and also together working with the other countries in a very perfect way to mediating.
Suay, if you had to identify the single biggest diplomatic opportunity and the single biggest risk for the region today, what would they be?
Well, our region is quite fragile when it comes to the conflicts, and unfortunately, these conflicts has a potential to trigger this fragility, as the President and Erdogan underlined. Is of course the biggest challenging is this the fragility in the region, but also the same created the biggest opportunity for the regional actors to work together more closely. And I think President Erdogan and the Shehbaz Sharif also working together to bring the other regional actors and also Muslim world to work on these own topics without any actors and the issues together. And all I can say that, as President Erdogan mentioned, that all crisis brings its opportunity. It's important to learn how to use it, how to work together.
For Turkey's perspective, what would a stable Iran-US relationship mean for regional security and economic stability?
Of course, this stability can bring the development and the prosperity for the region, because we see in a very concrete case in the Syria next to us after the revolution 2 years ago. Right now, the Syria tried to be part of the region and the international system as much as quickly. And it also shows that the Middle East region and in general sense, the South Asia needs much more stability and the security. If there will be the stability and security, there will be also economic development, prosperity, and political stability at the same time. So all countries, but of course, especially Turkey and Pakistan, has been working to bring the stability and the development to region.
Also, we're witnessing major geopolitical shifts across the Middle East. How is the regional balance of power changing, and where do Pakistan and Turkey fit into this evolving landscape?
As you mentioned, that the changing geopolitical patterns in the Middle East has been quite dynamic, actually, and this dynamism needs a much more flexibility and, of course, looking for the cooperation willingness. And I think the two countries, Turkey and Pakistan, has that the capability to show this, adapting the dynamics and even the leading the dynamics to the much more stable and a peaceful region. And at the same time, economic development and economic cooperation plays a significant role, not only in Middle East, but especially in our region. When we are talking about the energy crisis and the trade route crisis, Middle East can be a new alternative for everyone, but needs to be worked together with all actors. And two countries has the potential to do this.